Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the session this morning, Yoga for Everybody with online events. Welcome to those joining us on the live stream and welcome everybody. So, our session this morning, building on what we did last week, and last week we were looking at lower spine strength. Building on that, I'm going to work through our warrior poses this morning. So, Warrior 1, Warrior 2, and the balance pose, Warrior 3. And beginning our session, just finding our breath, settling down into a calm space, and beginning that mind into body connection. So, as always, if you're following along this morning, just do exactly what feels right for your body and make any amendments and adjustments that you need for your energy this morning. And I'll aim to offer some alternatives in the poses as we're going along. But if you feel that anything is just too strong for you this morning, then just back off and rest, and then maybe just join along when you feel that you are ready to continue. So I'll settle down onto my mat and just finding a comfortable place to sit. And as we sit, we find our breath, and we just spend a few minutes finding that calm, finding some stillness, and breathing, drawing the breath down to the bottom of the lungs, down to the tummy area, and making the exhalation a little bit longer than the inhale, bringing forwards our parasympathetic side of our nervous system into rest and digest. Finding ways through our breath just to put aside our busy schedule that we have forwards today. And we recognize that all our things that we have to do are very important, but we don't need to attend to them this very minute as we're spending a little time for self-care. So breathe. Noticing that gentle rise and fall of the chest and the sensation of the air filling up the tummy area. So maybe putting the hands down on the abdomen, noticing the expansion of the tummy as we inhale, and then the hands coming slightly back together on the exhale, taking advantage of that diaphragmatic breathing, slowing down. And noticing the real fine detail as we breathe, narrowing down our sensations, maybe noticing the quality of the air as we breathe. Perhaps the air is a little cooler as we inhale, maybe a little warmer as we exhale. And beginning to notice our posture as we're breathing. Gently sitting up tall through the spine as we inhale. And on the exhale, relaxing the shoulders down from the ears. We'll gently begin to move. Taking that inhale, raising the arms up, gently sweeping up the arms, reach up for the sky, lengthen through the spine, squeeze up through the fingers, straighten the arms, being as tall as we can. And on the exhale, sweep the arms down. So mirroring our movement with our breath. Inhaling, sweep the arms up, stretching up. Exhale. Arms down by the sides and one more. Inhale, stretch up. And we'll side bend here. So sweeping the left hand down to the left hand side. The right hand still stretching up tall, and we tip over to the left. Really stretch through the right hand side of the body. Inhale again, coming up to the top. Sweep the left hand up. Left hand joins the right, stretching up. Exhale, allow the right hand to drop down to the mat. Reaching over with the left hand to the right hand side. Really lengthen through the left hand side of the body. And we come back up. Right arm up. Inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, this time the arms drop down to our cactus position. Draw the hands and the elbows back. And then bring the hands down to the heart center. Inhale. Exhale. And we'll side twist. So using our breath, we take an inhale, lengthen up through the spine. On the exhalation, we twist round to the left, draw the shoulders around. Cross the arms, right hand on the left knee, left hand at the base of the spine. Drawing the gaze round over the left shoulder. Draw another breath in, lengthen up, and on the exhale, twist round a little deeper into the pose. And we'll exhale, unravel. Come back round to the front. Inhale again, lengthen up. Exhale, twist around to the right. Cross the arms, left hand on the right knee, right hand at the base of the spine. Draw ourselves round. Inhale again, squeeze up. And exhale, twist round a little further. Exhaling again. Come back round to the front. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Squeeze up. Exhale, arms to cactus. And the hands around to heart center. So leaving our seated position, we'll come round into tabletop. Bringing ourselves down onto all fours, shoulders above the hands, hips above the knees, and the knees about hip width apart. We'll take a few cat-cow and returning to the breath once again. So we inhale, lower the tummy down, raise the gaze. And exhale, push the spine up to the sky into cat pose, drop the head, and squeeze the shoulders up from the hands. Inhale, drop down, back into cow pose. Tummy down, raise the gaze. And exhale and move back up. So take 2 or 3 more rotations. Move in a way that feels right for you. Move with your breath. Find your own pace, your own rhythm, your own way of moving. And really stretch out. So one more rotation here. And we'll come back to a neutral spine. And then we'll just work on activating the legs. So the right leg will squeeze out and back. Activate the core, squeeze the tummy into the spine. Activate the shoulders, push away from the hands, gaze forwards. Flex the toes, toes down to the mat, and push out through the heel, nice and strong. Take an inhale, and we'll draw the knee forwards towards the elbow, lower the head. Exhale and push back, really good. We'll take one more, inhale, knee to elbow. Exhale, push back. And holding, and lowering the knee down to tabletop, and we'll go on the left leg out and back, push out through the heel. Everything active once again. Inhale, knee to elbow. Exhale, push back the left foot. Inhale, knee to elbow. Exhale, push back. One breath here. Lowering the knee back to tabletop. We'll curl the toes under and push the hips up and back into our first downward facing dog. So settle into the pose, but keep everything strong and active. Pushing the shoulders away from the hands, hips up nice and high. Maybe pedaling out the knees, just to gently stretch the backs of the legs. Remember to breathe. And then we'll walk forward. So any way that feels right, we'll walk the feet forwards towards the hands and then forward fold. Just lengthen through the backs of the legs, lengthen through the spine. and hang down. If your hands are nowhere near your toes, it really doesn't matter. No requirement to touch your toes in your yoga practice. Just lengthen down and stretch. Allow your head to be heavy. And we'll take an inhale. The hands go on the shins. We flatten the mat, gaze forwards into halfway lift. Exhale. Forward fold. Inhale, gently sweep to standing. Sweeping the arms up to standing. Reach up for the sky. Exhale, arms drop to cactus. And hands to heart center. We'll lower the hands down by our sides and just take mountain pose. So palms facing forwards. We'll relax the shoulders down from the ears. Gently ground the feet into the mat, maybe rocking backwards and forwards. Just finding some stability. All right. And then from the front of the mat, we're going to step back into our first of our warrior poses in our sequence this morning. So warrior one, our hips are remaining forwards. Our right leg takes a really big step back. Nice bend in the knee at the front. So left knee above the ankle. We inhale and raise the arms. Really squeeze up. On the exhalation, we're going to tip forward from the hips. So bringing the shoulders down towards the knee, but keeping the integrity and the strength in the arm. So really push through the fingers. Gaze forwards, keeping the head up. We'll inhale and come up and back. Take a gentle back bend. Gaze up if you found yourself balanced. And then we'll come forwards to a neutral spine. We'll straighten the left leg in front of us. Inhale, squeeze up. And on the exhale, we'll tip all the way forwards into pyramid pose. Reach down, stretching through the length of the left leg, really pushing down into the little toe in the right leg behind us. Drop the head, the crown of the head towards the floor, and reach down. So we're gazing backwards at the right foot. One or two more breaths here. And we're going to head down to the mat. So a little bend in the left knee. Both hands reaching forwards. Little shuffle of the feet to enable us to twist to the side. And my weight is going to go on my right hand. I'm lifting my left hand up, reaching up for the sky, twisting that left shoulder back, and really pushing out through the right heel behind me. We exhale. Lower the left hand. And we bring the left foot all the way to the back of the mat into plank. We've got an option here. Listen to your body and your energy this morning. There's always the option to lower the knees just to support our weight as we lower the chest down to the mat through chaturanga. So elbows in and back, the chest comes down. Inhaling, push up through the arms, upward facing dog. Active shoulders, push away from the hands, crown on the head to the ceiling. Exhaling, lower the chest, push the hips up, back to downward facing dog. Find our breath. Keep the pose active, keep pushing away from the fingers, through the shoulders, hips up high. One more breath and we're walking forwards again. Any way that we can manage, step forwards and forward fold. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweep up to standing. Reach up for the sky. Exhale, arms to cactus. And hands to heart center. We'll bring the hands back down by the sides. Return to mountain pose, Tadasana. And return to our breath. And coming around to the left then. So same little sequence as we've just done on the right. This time we'll step back with the left leg. So stepping back, hips are forwards. Nice bend in the right knee. Inhaling, arms up. On the exhale, tipping forwards. Stretching through the arms, head up, gaze forwards. Pushing to the little toe in the left foot behind us. Really stretch. Inhale, come up and back into back bend. And forwards to a neutral position. Straightening the right leg, inhale, lengthen up, exhale. Tip forwards and down into pyramid. Stretch down. Head heavy. Push again into the little toe in the right leg, left leg. And gaze backwards. So one more breath. We're dropping down to the mat. Little bend in the right knee. Both hands forwards. Maybe widen the feet slightly as we side twist with the right arm up. Push out through this left heel. Exhale. Lower the right hand. Right foot back to plank. Remember the option to lower the knees if that feels right for you. And we drop down to the mat through Chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, lower the chest, raise the hips. Downward facing dog. Return to your breath. And one more. Walking forwards. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale. Forward fold. Inhale. Sweep up to standing. And reaching up. Exhale, arms to cactus. And hands to heart. Really good. Dropping the hands by our sides, return to Tadasana. Nice and strong in our mountain pose. So each time we've come into mountain pose, we've been grounding our feet. And that's in order for us to prepare our bodies for a little balance work. So nice and simple to start with, and as we progress through the sequence, we'll gently build upon our balance. So with our balance this morning, again, just do whatever feels right for you. It's not a competition. We're just using the balance to focus our mind, to use our strength and be aware of how our body is moving and how that feels. So we're going to go into a little balance, and then as we've just done, from the balance, we're going to step back into Warrior One. So really nice and simple. So from the front of the mat, Just bringing our right knee up, raising the right foot off the ground. It doesn't matter how high we bring our foot off the ground. Find a position that feels right, and in order for you to balance well, keeping your gaze forwards, relaxing your shoulders, and in a way that enables you to continue to breathe. It's so easy just to hold your breath when we go into balance work. So find your breath, inhale and exhale, and then nice and slowly, drawing that right foot all the way to the back of the mat. Glide into our warrior one, inhaling, raise the arms up, stretch up. Come down forwards as before, stretch out through the arms, the shoulders are above the knee, we're pivoting from the hips, gazing up and forwards. We inhale, come up and back, we take our back bend, and come back to a neutral spine. This time we're going to go all the way down to the mat into a lunge. So keeping the left knee bent this time, drawing ourselves down, both hands to the mat. We'll take our side twist, so left arm up, reach upwards, push out through the right heel behind you. Exhaling, lower the hand down, left foot back into our plank, whatever option that is for you. Lower the chest down, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, lower the chest, hips up, downward facing dog, and breathe. And walking forwards, both feet to the front, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweep to standing, reaching up. Exhale, arms to cactus. Hands to heart center. And we lower the hands back to Tadasana. Find our grounding through our feet. Breathe. Relax the shoulders from the ears. And we're going to take that balance on the other side. So left leg this time. Bring the left foot off the mat. Again, it doesn't matter how far. Keep your shoulders relaxed. Breathe, looking forwards. And whenever it feels right, we're taking that really big step back with the left foot all the way to the back of the mat, bringing ourselves into warrior one, inhaling and raising the arms up. Exhale, tip forwards from the hips, lengthen through the arms. Inhale, come up and back, into back bend, and to neutral spine. Tipping all the way down to the mat once again, so lowering the hands all the way down, side twisting right arm up, lower the right hand, right foot back to plank, lower the chest down to the mat through chaturanga, inhale, upward facing dog, exhale, lower the chest, raise the hips, downward facing dog, and 2 or 3 deep breaths. And walking forwards. Both feet to the front, forward fold. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale to forward fold. Inhale. Sweep to standing. Reaching up. Exhale, arms to cactus. Hands to heart. Lowering the hands down to Tadasana. And once again, we find our feet ground down. We're going to come back into our balance work and add a little more layers. So this time, returning to the right leg, and there's an option here to take our tree pose. So as we did with our last rotation, we bring the right knee gently forwards, coming up onto the toes, and this time we're opening the hips, so drawing the knee round to the right hand side, connecting the heel to the ankle, and then from here it's entirely your choice with how far you balance. If you feel like you may want to lift up your right foot and place it against your left leg, then go as far as you feel you want to. If you're leaving your toes down on the ground and breathing, then that's absolutely perfect too. We'll just focus on drawing the knee round, opening up the hips. So either way, wherever your tree pose finds you this morning, we're going to transition into our warrior one as we did a few minutes ago. So if I just change my position, so we're back at the front of the mat, bringing the knee back forwards, keeping the foot off the mat, and sweeping that right foot backwards, arms up into warrior one. Exhale, tip forwards. Inhale, up and back into back bend. Exhale, come all the way down to the mat with the hands into lunge. Side twist with left hand up. Left hand down. We're stepping forwards. Come back to standing into mountain pose. Stepping back again with the right foot. This time we're opening up the hips again and coming into warrior two. So arms into the T position. We gaze forwards over the left fingers. The hips are open across the wide side of the mat. The right foot behind us, parallel with the short side of the mat. Nice bend in the knee at the front. The knees above the ankle. Really good. So one or two breaths here. And we're going to reverse our warrior. So the left palm faces up. We raise the left hand, lower the right hand, and squeeze across the side. You can gaze up at the left fingers and drop back down. Arms into T position. Going to bend in the left elbow and forward fold. So the left forearm is on the knee, focusing on this right shoulder, drawing it up and back, flattening the back behind us before sweeping the right hand down in front of the body and up and over the head, squeezing out through the fingers, really lengthening all the way across the right hand side of the body. If you're able to catch your camera, you'll be able to see a nice straight line from the fingertips all the way down to your heel. And we'll lower down to the mat. Right hand down, left hand follows. Shuffle the feet and twist the hips so they face forwards. And we'll side twist again. Left arm up. Lower the left hand. Left foot back to plank. Lower down to the mat through chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, lower the chest, raise the hips. Downward facing dog. One or two good breaths. Keeping the pose active. Still squeezing the hips up high. Pushing away from the hands, keeping the head heavy. And then walking forwards. Both feet to the front, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale. Sweep to standing. Reaching up. Exhale, arms to cactus. And hands to heart center. Lower the hands to the sides. Back to Tadasana. Find our grounding, find our breath, relax the shoulders. And we'll take tree pose on the left. So coming forwards with the left knee, rotate around to the left, opening up the hips, connecting the left heel with the right leg. Remember to breathe, and then absolutely your choice of balance. So maybe bringing the left foot up against the side of the right leg. So using our breath. And once again, we're going to transition into warrior one, sweeping the left knee forwards and taking that really big step back. So left leg all the way to the back of the mat. Inhaling, arms up, reaching up. Exhale, come forwards. Inhale, come up and back into back bend. And sweeping forwards and down. Both hands down to the mat into lunge. Side twist here, right arm up. Right hand down, right foot to plank. Lower down through chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, sweep back, downward facing dog. Just one breath here, and we'll walk forwards to the front. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweep to standing. Reaching up. Arms to cactus. And to heart center. So from the front of the mat, we're on left leg again. Big step back, opening up the hips into our warrior two on this side. Relaxing the shoulders down. And we'll reverse our warrior. So right palm up, left hand down, squeeze back. And come back forwards. Arms into T position before we bend the right elbow and forward fold. Focus here again on left shoulder. Draw it up and back. Flatten the back behind you before sweeping the left hand down in front of the body. And then up and over the head. Reach out through the fingers. Find that straight line across the side of the left body from your fingertips down to your heel. One or two good breaths here. And we'll sink down to the mat. Left hand down. Right hand follows. Everything facing forward, hips and feet. We'll side twist again, right arm up. Lower the right hand down. Right foot back to plank. Drop down to the mat through chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, lower the chest, raise the hips. Downward facing dog. One or two good breaths here. And we'll walk forwards once again. Both feet to the front, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands to the mat. Inhale, sweep to standing. Reaching up. Exhale, arms to cactus. And hands to heart. Hands down by our sides. Return to Tadasana. Find our breath. Relax our shoulders. For the next layer in our sequence, adding another pose. So Warrior 3, our balance pose in the warrior sequence. So we've already balanced in tree pose. So the foundations are already there for us to enter into Warrior 3 when we get there. So again, with our balances, just balance as far as feels right for you this morning. And listen to your body and use your breath as we're going through. So we'll start as we did in our last layer, our last rotation. So we're on right leg and we'll come round into tree. However you found your tree pose this morning, find your breath. And as before, we'll step back into Warrior 1. So we'll bring the right knee back forwards and gently sweeping the right foot to the back of the mat. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, tip the shoulders forward. Gaze upwards and forwards. Inhale, come up and back into our back bend. And coming back forwards to a neutral spine. We'll bring the arms down to cactus. And then round to heart center. So we'll transition into our Warrior 3. So hands by our sides. We'll bring our weight forward. So we'll push through the toes. Bring ourselves up onto standing on the left leg. And we'll use the hips as a pivot. Bringing the shoulders forward. And allowing the right foot to float up behind us. And it really doesn't matter how far we come into the balance. Remember to breathe, remember to keep your shoulders relaxed. We have an option with hands, so either by the sides or into prayer position. Whatever feels right for you. Use the pose in any way which feels good. in any way which suits your energy levels. Really good. So from wherever you are in Warrior 3, we're going to step back into Warrior 2. So bringing the right foot to the back of the mat, arms into T position, gaze forwards over the left fingers, and we'll reverse our warrior. Left palm up, and squeeze through the left-hand side of the body, really good. Coming back forwards, we'll straighten the left leg, shift the weight forwards, tip down into Trikonasana, into triangle pose. Reach up, flatten the back behind you, so drawing that right shoulder back, so maybe pushing the hips slightly forwards. We'll bend the knee, we'll come back up into Warrior 2. Bend the left elbow, forward fold. Into our extended side angle once again. Draw the right arm up, round and forward. Squeeze through the right side of the body. And we'll lower down to the mat. Right hand down, left hand follows. Everything facing forwards, and we'll side twist again, left arm up. Left hand down. Left foot goes back to plank. Lower down to the mat through Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, lower the chest. Bring ourselves back up. Downward facing dog. And walking forwards. Both feet to the front, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweep to standing. Reach up for the sky. Exhale, arms to cactus. And hands around to heart center. Hands down by our sides. Come back to mountain pose. And ground down into the mat. So same little sequence. Left leg, tree pose, warrior 1, warrior 3, warrior 2, Trikonasana, extended side angle, drop down to the mat, and then we'll begin to cool down and take our Shavasana. So we're on left side then, left leg, so from the front of the mat, bringing the left knee forwards, up on the toes, find your tree pose wherever that was this morning. Find your balance. Keep hold of your breath. Soften through the top part of your body. And we'll transition. So we'll bring left knee forwards and slowly come back to warrior 1. Inhaling, arms up. Exhale, tip forwards from the hips. Inhale, come up and back. Return to a neutral spine. Arms to cactus. And hands to heart center. Lowering the hands by the sides. We're going to move into warrior 3. So pushing our weight forward, straighten the right leg. We come up onto the toes on the left leg behind us. Use the hips as a pivot once again. Lower the shoulders, raise the left leg off the mat. And it doesn't matter how far. So sometimes useful to have a little bend in the balancing leg, just a micro bend, just to soften through the joint, and it helps keep the muscles active so you can adjust your balance and maintain the integrity of the pose. So we'll gaze forwards, use the balance, use your breath, and we'll step back to warrior two. So pushing the left foot to the back of the mat. Keeping the balance. I nearly went. Safely down. Whew. Into warrior two. Find your breath. Reversing the warrior, right palm up. Let's squeeze sideways. Lengthen and come back into warrior two. Straighten the right leg, shift forwards, pivot down. Come into Trikonasana, reaching up, aiming to flatten the back behind us and be comfortable in the head. So gaze down or gaze up, or keep the head neutral. If the neck and the head are comfortable, you may be able to just draw that shoulder back and keep the integrity of the back that's flat. We'll bend the knee, come back to warrior two, bend the right elbow forward, fold, left arm sweeps forwards and up into extended side angle. Lengthen through the side of the body one more time before we lower down to the mat. Left hand down, right hand follows. Side twisting, right arm up. Lower the hand, right foot back to plank. We'll hold in plank. 1 or 2 breaths. Still the option to lower the knees. And then we'll rock back. Widen the knees, bring the big toes together and sink down into child's pose. So draw the arms forwards, the head can be heavy. Stretch out through the back, take a few good breaths. And coming back forwards. Shoulders above our hands. We'll come back to tabletop. And as we did at the beginning of the session, we'll draw the right leg out and back. Stretch through. And bring the knee back down. Left leg this time, out and back. Stretch out through. And lowering the knee back down. Really good. So we'll come around to seated. Finding our breath. And we'll come into our Shavasana. So your choice of Shavasana this morning, either the option to stay seated or to sink down in the traditional way into corpse pose and have Shavasana laying down. So if in corpse pose, we'll roll down to the mat, keep our palms facing upwards so the shoulder blades can flatten down, relaxing feet and hands, returning to our breath. And allowing everything to soften once again. So closing the eyes or softening the gaze. Relaxing the jaw and the tongue. allowing our exhalation to become longer than our inhalation, and using our exhalation to melt down into the mat. Noticing the length of the spine from our neck down to the base of the spine, across the pelvis, down the length of the legs, relaxing the feet, noticing the length of the arms, relaxing the fingers, and noticing our breath, noticing that rise and fall of the chest and the tummy once again, and allowing that to be our focal point in Shavasana. If our mind begins to wander, just bringing it back to our breath, and allow ourselves to take just a couple of moments of good, deep breathing and some quiet, calm relaxation. So returning to our breath, bringing a little movement back into our bodies, into fingers and feet, maybe taking a stretch, maybe rolling onto one side and coming back to seated whenever we're ready. And thank you so much, everybody. It's been a real pleasure to practice with you this morning and to spend this time with you. Thanks so much to everyone joining the Zoom call and to everyone viewing on social media, wherever you found us this morning. And I'll be back on Thursday this week, 8 a.m. for our de-desking, our chair yoga session, so more breath work and finding ways to counter those everyday postural issues we may have when we spend a lot of time sitting and working at desks and working with devices. Moving forwards then to next week, same again, Tuesdays, mat yoga, and Thursdays, de-desking with chair yoga. So join me and find me through social media, and everything is available on the online event system. Thanks once again. Take good care of yourselves, and I'll see you very soon. Thank you.